Hello, this is Jeff with Simple Outdoor Cooking. The task of the day is briskets for my daughter's graduation party. As you can see, I got two really nice ones today from Costco. They are the prime. They were on sale. Got a really good price on them. So I bought the really good ones. I've done a lot of briskets, kind of my go-to family favorite. It's so simple to do it. Cook it low, slow. I have two ingredients. Just take a minute and prep your station. See how I wrapped up the two things I'm going to be using on the brisket. Wrap those in plastic, have my knives set out, have the garbage can over there, have the silver pan. I'll be trimming this and putting the usable fat in there to render down to use when I wrap it. So I'll be back in a minute. All right, so I'm just going to pat this dry a little bit here. You're not dealing with blood all over your hands. I'm not going to go over every single slice I do on here. It gets a bit monotonous. But just try and keep my hands dry. Just start here and good sharp fillet knife. Just start peeling her back. You want to get this down. I take quite a bit of this fat off. This is a beautiful piece of meat, and you won't have any issue at all with it being dry. You don't need this fat cap. It keeps the Montreal steak seasoning, which I love, from getting into it. So I'm actually going to take it so that you can see. Just have to get it started here. I'm going to take it so you can kind of see that scalping. There might be some pieces on there that'll render off. Not that big of a deal, but I'll come back and show you where we're at here in a little bit. Okay, as you can see, I had to take quite a bit off of this. It was a little bit of a bear, quite honestly. There was a really thick layer of the silver skin on it, and I wanted to make sure I got that because it'd be pretty unappetizing. I did chase that real hard fat down in there, and you can see I set aside the renderable fat pieces. The harder stuff I just threw out. It won't render and just doesn't work. What I'm going to do, see, this is really thin here. I'm going to end up cutting that off, and I'll show you what I do with that then in a little bit. So I am going to trim up the second one, and then I'll show you how I season it. So keeping it real, honestly, these things were a bit of a bugger to clean up. There's a very thick piece of really dense, thick, fat, silver skin, whatever you want to call it, but it was just terrible, very difficult to come out. I use this knife and use a technique where you pull and work it down. My wife was busy, so we didn't get a chance to do it, but I did save a piece here. So if you can just zoom in here, you just kind of work the knife and pull it away, keeping your fingers back. You use the tip of the knife, make sure it's nice and sharp. And I have a cookie sheet, so I'm not going to cut down into it. So I just kind of pull it up and then poke through to get that last little bit. That's kind of how I remove that. I did have a really long piece. You can just take it, and I lift it up in the middle and just worked it one way then the other. There's not really an easy way to do it. Sometimes it just comes hard. Last week I did one, opened it up out of the packet, trimmed for like 3 minutes, and I was ready to cook it. So you just never know. So this is my technique. I put some Worcestershire on it. Try and get in all the little pieces. As you can see, I did leave some fat on. It's not perfectly clean. Again, I have the saran wrap on here. So it's protected. As you can see, just kind of keep it high, nice and even. I like the cookie sheets. I can just spin it and get in the little nooks and crannies there. You do not have to be bashful with this. It's a big, awesome piece of meat. So you want to get as much on without overdoing it. That's a pretty good coating there. Flip it over. You can see that's nice and clean on this side. There was a big fat cap there I took off. Really simple. Literally, Montreal steak seasoning, Worcestershire. That's it. And then what I do is with this fat, you can see on the right, I kept the renderable fat off to the side there. And with the renderable fat, I'm going to put that in, and then I'm going to utilize that when I wrap it in the morning. So that's where we're at. We're going to go fire up the smoker in a few minutes, and that we're going to start us off at 165. We're going to let her smoke quite a bit. I have a pellet smoker, so it takes a while, honestly, to get the flavor in the smoke, or get the smoke flavor in the meat. So we're going to let her sit for hours and hours and hours at that 165. I'm actually going to put the meat on, then start the smoker, because you get that like burst of smoke. And I have a Camp Chef that has the smoker box, so I'm going to put some additional hickory in the smoker box and get that going too. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks. Okay, it's about 9:30 at night before the party. So I'm covering this bad boy. Love this thing. Turned her on. And I'll be handing it off to my wife. So I am trying to make a video channel or YouTube channel about backyard cooking done simple or whatever. Honestly, still didn't come up with a good name yet. And it's my first one I want to publish. I did a couple samples. First one I want to publish, and it's been anything but simple. I had a fat cap on the 2 prime roast I got. Prime biscuits I was spent for the extra one. Took like 45 minutes or an hour to trim it up right. Came out, my smoker box here is malfunctioning. I'm gonna have to work on that. Luckily I was able to find my Allen wrenches, my meat thermometers. I had charging all day. For some reason it didn't take the charge. I don't know what was going on. And I went to get the flashlight to work on my smoker, and the batteries were dead. So I've had to totally disassemble my smoker. So things aren't going so great yet. Hopefully this smoke gets better. This is an outtake, hopefully for another day. All right, so we're getting ready to put our briskets on here finally. We ran into some issues, honestly. So this is the bigger of the two. As you can see, the smoke box is kind of on the left. So the bigger of the two with the bigger part towards the smoke box. This one is also pretty nice size, but not quite as big. So I'm just going to kind of turn this. We'll be monitoring the temp. When I say backyard cooking simple, what we're looking for is backyard championship food. So it's not going to be something you enter into a competition, but the idea is it's delicious, and if you're the only one cooking, it's going to be the best barbecue there. My whole goal is to make food that I like, simple. The reason I like simple is I'm really busy. I have a really busy schedule, so it's really important to me that I can do this and not spend a whole lot of time. So we're just going to set this temperature. We're going to start it, we'll start about 175. So about an hour later, getting it on that I want. So we're going to do that. I normally do not close the grill on startup, but I am going to close it here as soon as I see whiffs of smoke, because I want to get as much smoke as I possibly can into this piece of meat. Going to stick a thermometer in that one. These are pretty awesome because it gives you the ambient temperature. This ceramic part that you can see will let you know what your pit is, and then here's the lines. For the line here gives you your temp, so you can get pretty deep with it, and you can double check the temperature of your pit accompanied by what your thermometer says it actually is. I'm saving one just because I'm going to charge it. It's going to be about a 16-hour smoke or so. So I want to have one I'm going to swap out to make sure I stay charged the whole time, because we're going to cook it to temp. We're going to wrap it. We're going to leave it like 175 all night. Maybe I'll back it down a little if I see it starting to crop up a little. Now I'm going to put some, this actually mesquite. So we're going to load this puppy up here. couple pieces of mesquite. Get this going. And I like to, when I'm starting out, I like to grab some pellets and kind of give this a little something to kickstart it. I always think the first part of the smoke, or the first part of the cook is the most important. Sometimes I'll add charcoal in there. I didn't today, just because I want a good smoke ring. Like I said, as soon as I start seeing puffs of smoke there, I'm going to close it. I have read stories about them exploding if you start them from scratch. You start them up from scratch with the lid closed. So we're just going to be cautious, let it a little bit go. We're going to close the lid and let it roll, and we'll see you back in a minute. Okay, so you can see there's a little bit of wisps of smoke there. Hopefully that's coming through in the dark okay. So we're going to close her up. I'm going to stay out here until she's running well, and we'll just monitor it. I won't be looking at this thing a lot. I'm going to let it smoke. It's a pellet smoker, very controlled, and I've had great luck with this thing. So I say that, and I'll probably burn it all tonight. So we'll check back. So we are 3 minutes into our cook, and you can see it's still in the startup mode, but you can see how much smoke this thing's given. The reason I put it on is I don't want to miss that smoke. It might be a little bitter, but it's okay. It's only a small part of it. The pellet smoker gives really clean smoke. Like I said, I do add the wood to it to give it a little bit more, but it'll be perfectly fine. The little bit of bark that it gets, we really have to work for that on a pellet smoker. It's a little easier with the Camp Chef, with the firebox, but it is something that you really have to work at. Okay, good morning all. I just wanted to take a minute and show you guys the briskets. I'm getting ready to wrap at 7:30 in the morning. I put these things on about 10:30, 11 o'clock last night. Started out at 165, added the wood here in the hopper. So you can see there's just a little smoldering yet. We have the one brisket is at 165, the other brisket's about 158, but I have an appointment, so I'm going to wrap them both at once. Again, it's simple, doesn't make that big of a deal. I didn't spray these things, checked 3 times overnight, added some wood, turned it up every time I checked it, maybe, I don't know, 15 degrees or so. Started at 165, I'm at 225 right now on the pit. After we wrap it, I'm going to crank it up to about 250. Thanks. Okay, so I set a little area up here. So that fat that we had cut out and rendered in, this is what we're going to put down at the bottom. And I just did a simple cross here with the butcher paper, the peach paper. Pretty simple, nothing outrageous. I was a little skeptical about doing this until I tried it the first time. It's amazing the difference. Every now and then I'll forget to do it, or I won't have a brisket that has much in it, and I use beef broth instead, and it's just not the same. Nice and snug. Second one, same thing. Tuck her up under. Sorry, I know you can't see very well, but there you go. That's all she wrote. Super simple. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the other one. Okay, guys, so we're about 12 hours into the cook. You can see the time there. I did just pull one of the briskets out. That's why the temperature's coming up. I currently have the pit set at 250. I have one resting. They're a little bit different size, but they cooked. Every piece of meat seems to cook a little different. Remember that little piece I pulled off? I threw that on last night, and being the cook's pleasure, I am going to have a sample of brisket. So that's what I do with it. I don't save it and grind it up or anything like that. I enjoy it. Okay, party's going on. This thing's been resting for about 2 hours. We're gonna open her up. I haven't seen it yet. It is so tender, it's really hard it is so tender, it's really hard to keep it from falling apart. See how the paper absorbs a lot of that? But I save a little bit and we'll dump back over that after we slice. So not much there, but that little bit makes a difference. And we'll be right back with a cut. Okay, dig into the flat here. You can see the smoke ring from just letting it sit there, and that's from a pellet smoker, guys. Oh, that's banging. Just absolutely banging. Again, backyard championship. That's what we go for. Don't forget my thing. If you're the only one who cooks, it's the best in the yard. So this is falling apart a little bit. A little more done than I would like. Look at the juice. You know, they show this on all the videos, just the juice squirting out. But you can see the ring up on the thicker side. Oh, that's just awesome. Here, try it, Adam.
Doesn't get much better.
Thanks, Ed. Just do a quick pan around. And the party's ready to go. Thanks. Have a great day.